two minds. I'm in the Burrum, but the wind's going to get up and blow from the east into here tonight. So it's going to be a very unpleasant night, and the wind's lighter today than it is tomorrow. It's still out of the east, a little bit of north in it. I'm going to run down probably to Kingfisher Bay in the Sandy Strait. I'm going to do that today while the wind's a little bit lighter, and that'll give me good shelter from the wind that's coming. There's a lot of wind coming, 25-30 knots, and tucked in under Fraser Island, I should be out of everything. So might be a little bit ordinary this trip, but I think it's a bit open here, and the wind that's coming won't give me much shelter, so I'm going to run down to Hervey Bay. Well, we don't wear skimpy bikinis. Hell, it frightens me when I take my shirt off. There's definitely no one pregnant here. This is motor sailing for old dudes. We do live on a boat, and we do cruise extensively along the Australian coast. Join us and visit some great destinations. Learn how to look after a boat and live off grid. It might even get you enthused to do the same thing. Hey, stay out there till you can't. This is pretty ordinary here, but we've got wind against the tide here, so the tide's going out at the moment, and it's causing a few holes in the waves, so we'll have to put up with this till we get out of the Burrum, and then hopefully it's a bit better when I get out into Hervey Bay. I've only got about 13 miles to run, probably about 15 to get down into some shelter, so it shouldn't be a really long trip anyway. There's two ways of doing this trip. If you're a deep drafted vessel, you'll have to head out of the Burrum and across to the Fairway Beacon, and then you'll have deep water all the way up the Sandy Strait. Alternatively, if you don't draw much, you can skip across the banks off Urangan, across the Woody Island, down close to the side of Woody, and then across to Kingfisher. This will get you out a bit of tide if you're pushing against it as well. Well, just passing Point Vernon, and up in front of us we've got Torquay and Urangan. I have to navigate through a few shoals here, a bit of drying height as well, so I just got to be a little bit careful. It gets quite shallow from here up to Urangan. I'm not sure if you can see Woody Island out in front of us, but that's Woody. You can just see up in front, a bit murky up there, but we'll head to the other side of Woody and then down the main channel to Kingfisher. Okay, so I'm getting lots of depth alarms trying to go through this section here. Trying to go through this section here, and we were down to about 1.5, so I'm going to come up around this little bit of a bank here, try and get out through there. So the chart's not really all that accurate in this area. We're back into 3.6 metres of water now. Not too bad. I'm hoping I can come around this little bank and then head out here into the channel. Let's try picking our way through here. Hope we've got enough depth. If we haven't, I'm just going to have to anchor up and wait for the tide to come back in. So this is where it gets slow. We're pushing about 1.7 knots of tide now. The tides are springing and quite a bit of water flowing in and out of the Sandy Strait. So That's big woody island you can see in front of us. We've got to get around the back of that and head to Kingfisher. But it's going to be a very slow trip. We're only doing 3.8 knots, so just got to sit back and enjoy it when it's like this. I don't like doing it into the tide, but sometimes you just have to. Well, it's been a pretty good trip, if not a slow one. We've only averaged about 4.5 knots the whole trip, been against the tide the whole time really, but it's been pleasant. The wind's just starting to get up now. We're blowing about 15, getting up to around 20 I'd reckon now, but I'm just about to where we're going to anchor, and I'm going to be in the lee of Fraser Island in a moment, so we'll be out of this wind, and that's what I did it this morning for. So a good trip in the end, even though it did take a little bit longer, and probably a few more dollars for motion lotion to get around here. But anyway, we can be over here pretty comfortable, and we don't have to really worry about. All we've got to worry about now is making our way up through the Sandy Strait for when the wind goes round to the north, which I don't think is for another probably 11 days, but we'll have a bit of a poke around heading up through the strait, I guess. A few days here, R&R, a couple little jobs to do, and yeah. Walk down the beach to get to the resort, but that won't hurt me, and we might go down there tomorrow and have a coffee, have a look what's there. Anyway, I'll get set up for tonight. Well, I got most of my chores done yesterday, so not much on today. Supposed to be a bit of rain around, but I can't see much at the moment, so what I'm going to do is head over to the resort and have a coffee. Run out of fuel. too long without fueling it up. I was nearly going to fuel it up this morning and I thought, oh, it should be alright. Not. So the tender's anchored off. The tide is coming in, so hopefully when I get back I'll be able to get down to my weight here. I might pull it in a little bit further. I reckon I've probably got about an hour. We'll see. Go that way up to the restaurant, or I think I can get a coffee right here, or maybe not open. It's a great pool here. It's closed for maintenance, but cruising people can use the swimming pool right next to the restaurant. Okay, we must be on island time here. The restaurant's not open, and the pool guy said it doesn't open until 10:30, so we'll have to wait for our coffee. We might go up and have a look at the resort, see what's up there. This is reception, and a lot of people come out here on the barges and spend time in the villas or units here, and yeah, great spot to come and spend a little bit of time. I think I can smell coffee. Came across this croc laying in the shade of a pandanus tree. Well, I'm a bit late getting back, and the tide's come right in now, so it's high tide at the moment. I'm going to have to wait for probably another hour or so before I get back to my lead weight that I leave on the beach. So I'm going to have to find another means of getting out to the dinghy. There's no one around, and it's time to get naked. Fraser Island, now called Kagari, and it's the biggest sand island in the world. It's completely made up of sand, and apparently the island is moving about, I think it's about 100 millimetres eastward every year. So it erodes from this side and builds up on the other side. Coming up to McKenzie's Jetty, an old ship spoiler here, or maybe not a ship spoiler, but they used to use McKenzie's Jetty for exporting logs off Fraser Island. So that boiler could have been used for winches or something up on the island. At low tide you can see a tractor buried in the sand here too, or what's left of it. But that's McKenzie's jetty you can see up in front of us. It's a bit further south from Kingfisher Resort. I'm pretty impressed with the new dinghy in the outboard. It lets me do trips like this. I'm probably a couple of nautical miles away from the boat now, and I would never have attempted this in the old dinghy with the electric outboard on because it was just too far and too slow. So being able to get along, and I haven't been planing up here, but being able to get along a fair bit quicker even at these revs opens up a lot of different things for me and different places I can take you dudes, I guess. Jetty was used to take logs out onto ships. They used to do a lot of forestry here. None now, it's all national park, but there was a lot of trees taken off the island back in the day. I'm not sure how long the mill used to run, or how long it ran till. We might go ashore and have a look and see if we can find any info on it. Okay, so the timber resources were identified here in 1842, and by 1863 the first timber was being cut and delivered by raft to nearby Maryborough. The island remained an important source of timber for the local milling industry for almost 130 years. Jetty was built on piles of rough sawn Fraser Island satinate. Today the remains of the structure can be seen. We've just had a look at that. You can see there used to be a bit of a railway line out on the jetty, and it was quite a bit bigger than what it is now. The mill was connected to the jetty by two tram lines, one each way. The tram line extended eastward into the timber country and a timber camp. Two steam-driven log haulers were used to transfer the logs to McKenzie's mill. Would have been hard work back in those days. So the high running costs and industrial disputes led to the closure of the mill by 1925. Queensland Forest Service purchased the tramway and jetty and continued operating these until the mid-1930s. So the mill closed in 1925. It's been closed for 100 years now. Yeah, the remnants of the old jetty are still around, so there you go. So that's the history of McKenzie's jetty. Oh geez, I'm getting out of here because the march flies are absolutely making a meal of me. Get a bit of rain and catch some water for our tanks. Then I hire a 4-wheel drive and take you for a trip onto the other side of Fraser Island. We have a bit of fun driving on the ocean beach at Burrum before taking a trip over to the beautiful Lake McKenzie. I take a swim in the cleanest fresh water I've ever seen. See you next week, dudes.